Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of What If Naruto Master All the Uzumaki skills and techniques. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, don't forget to stay in tune for the rest of the What Ifs coming your way over on Anime King and Anime King 3. If you're new, yes, you heard that correctly. I indeed have 3 channels, and Making 2 and Making 3, which I post what if on every single day. Yes, you heard that right, every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Starts the intro. So, the last spot we left off, Minato wanted to steal the 9 tails inside of Naruto. However, Kushina knew that Minato did not understand what it felt like and what it meant to be a Jinchuriki, especially when you were never one. That is why she made extra precautions just in case, as she created a tiny seal on Naruto's arm before she summoned a box as she placed her ear clip in it, and her wedding ring as well, as she sent the box away, as she just hoped that he would find it once he was of proper age. As the event went and the two died that night, leaving behind their son a few years past as a young child who was none other than Naruto. He had red hair, whisker marks as he made his way towards. He was just walking really, as he did not understand why the people in the village hate him, as it made no reason, it made no possible sense. However, he came across a strange place, and his hand felt tingly. When he pressed his hand on said door, the door opened up with strange markings, as there he met Mito Uzumaki. He was shocked to her last name, as she wondered, did she know his parents? First of all, she told him to calm himself down, and she decided to ask him a few questions. She told him that she would tell him tomorrow. However, when she heard about his living arrangement, she was rather angry. Angry at the village, angry at Sarutobi. As she realized what must have happened, next morning Naruto woke up, as he greeted the people at Ichiro before he made his way. As he came to meet his grandmother once again, she told him the story first, as she told him the story of her and Hoshirama. As Naruto thought that she was a ghost, however no, she was a chakra imprint that kept her tethered to this place. As Naruto sat down and listened to her story, she told him everything regarding Hoshirama and about his Mokiton ability, and she told him what led up to this point, and what she realized, as she told him who his mother was. It seems that the little blonde boy that Kushina kept on talking about was Naruto's father. While he might not have his hair, he did have his face, as she did not doubt that this was their son. And not to mention, when she saw his seal, she knew exactly what was going on. He was a Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, as she told him everything right there and then, knowing that his opinion would change a lot of things. A few years later, as Hiruzen sat behind his desk as Jiraiya came in, Jiraiya was curious about Naruto's development. Naruto was a special case, as he was able to graduate the academy early. In doing so, Naruto was placed in a team with Shigaku and 2 other, civilian members. The 2 of them were good enough to make a genuine team, however, they were not good enough to be promoted, as Naruto was seeking a field promotion. As they had a meeting with Naruto, the boy's opinion regarding Sarutobi had laxed over the couple of years, as he just talked formally. He had no real connection to the man anymore. As Naruto also asked about Tsunade, if he knew about the secret, that meant he knew about Jiraiya as well. Tsunade was his only living relative, that is the case, considering the relationship between Mito and Kushina, so Tsunade was his relative. That must be the reason why he was asking for her, Jiraiya wondered, as he was curious about Naruto's strength. As they had told him about the fox inside his stomach, the next day they had felt a malicious chakra spread over Konoha. He told him that he was just trying to better utilize the power inside of him. It seems like he already knew about the fox a long time though, and he just did not say anything, but know that they told him he had the chance to work on it out in public. Well, not out in public, but somewhere that they could feel it. But still, it didn't change things however, as Naruto's hatred for them was there. He might not outright say it, however the way he treated everything around him, and the people. However, Hiruzen did mention that there was two families that Naruto was close to, one of them being the Yamanakas, and Inoichi had said that there was nothing wrong with the boy's psyche or mental health, so they could not chop it up to him, well, being a bad person. However, he did got the field promotion and Naruto was now a chunin, as his skills were strong enough to show that. He was great in the art of Kinjutsu and not to mention Funjutsu as well, and he was great in water manipulation as well. Traits of Uzumaki. However, they were not sure exactly how he learned these things, and they could not force it out of him. After all, he had a right to his clan laws and his privacy. So with that, they were stumped. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the playcheck of yourself, and also guys, don't forget to stay in tune for the rest of what is coming your way, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we leap on into this new episode without wasting any more time guys. Jiraiya sat in the office of Sir Toby as he tried to rationalize the choice that he made all those years ago. It could have been dangerous to take Naruto with him, but he could have taken Naruto to Mount Miyaboku. If things got hairy, that didn't feel like a good place to raise a child. No, he couldn't have taken Naruto with himself, but maybe he could have visited him time after time. However, Jiraiya was deep undercover. This was the second time he was able to come to Konoha after the Kyuubi attack, as he was busy gathering information out there and fending off the other nations by making strategic moves and also hunting after the snake, who was always on the move. He could have written letters though, but what would he have said? He was sure that Naruto not knowing about him until he was older so that he could understand his absence was the best choice. He was sure of it, however he still felt like he did something wrong, like he could have done more. Maybe he might understand if I talk to him. He might understand, yes, but even then, he might not forgive you. You have to understand, Jiraiya. He might not need you in the life that he has built for himself. How strong is he now, Jiraiya asks. That was a bitter pill to swallow. Minato had left him with the position of the godfather. However, Konoha needed more. He was sure that Minato would understand his choices. He recently put in the application to be tested for the position of Special Jonin. It's scheduled to come in a couple of months. This might give us a more accurate measure of his strength, Hiruzen said, smiling slightly, as the boy was doing quite good for himself. He had even put in an interesting proposal to open a business as well. He believed that is why he put in an application for Special Jonin and didn't work straight for the Jonin position. And the Kyuubi, Jiraiya asks. He recently submitted a report of creating some new technique to use it and channel the power by using seals. He's tampering with the seal, Jiraiya asks, a bit worried creeping into his voice. Not quite. It's a Uzumaki technique of storing of chakra, like a battery of sort. Hiruzen said calmly he was keeping track of the seal to the best of his ability. We should still look into it more closely. We could, but it comes under a grey area of using clan techniques and Biju chakra. We would have to force the issue. It would be better to make sure that he does not mess with the seal. With your notes on Naruto's seal and the original Uzumaki ones, I could just see if there are any changes made to it, Hiruzen said. That could work, said Jiraiya, as he knew. Even in non-clan ninjas, information about their techniques were not asked to write down in detail. If he get the promotion, we might be able to assign him a mission to help me track down Snazzy. It could help me figure out more about him, and you won't be too resentful seeing that he also wants to find her as well. We'll just have to wait and see, Hiruzen said, as he looked towards the reports on his desk. The top listing of the students who were going to take the academy tests the following month. It was an interesting year because most of them were clan heirs and heiress. Time skip. Ino Yamanaka was ready to graduate. Having to wake up so early in the morning always put her in a grumpy mood though. It was only a week to the graduation day, she reminded herself. Then she would be a badass kunoichi who wouldn't have to wake up so damn early. She was kind of bummed out that her father was not going to be there to celebrate her graduation. He was called into a mission. So when she passed, as she had no doubt about that, They would be celebrating later with the Naras and Akamichi family. The old Inishikocho team was very famous for their teamwork, and even after all these years they still work together sometime. She was skeptical about Shikamaru passing, but she hoped for the best, because if he did not, his mother would be on the warpath. As she did her morning routine as she tied her hair in a short ponytail, maybe she should grow it out like all the other girls in her class. As after getting ready, she got dressed in her favorite purple battle dress. As she made her way to the kitchen to get some breakfast, upon entering, her mood instantly changed. As her mood got a bit sour, and the source of her mood changing so quickly was none other than the person sitting at the dining table, Naruto Uzumaki, her childhood friend, as he was wearing his regular clothes consisting of a black snowy pants, a dark orange haori with wave designs at the bottom of it, and strangely enough he had his headband around his forehead, as it was usually tied to his waist but not today apparently, and he was sitting there stuffing his face with pancakes. As she chose to ignore him and made her way over and sat down, as he looked up and noticed her. Finally made it out of the bed sheets, Ino. Yumi-san just went out. But there's some breakfast out for you. Ino tried to ignore him as best she could as she sat down, as she started to lay butter on her toast, as she started to place them down before she started to peel some fruits, as she didn't have the stomach to eat something heavy in the morning. However, when she looked down, her toasts were gone. As she turned her head toward the source of that, and there he was, yes, stuffing his face once again. As she looked back down, her fruit was gone. As Ino saw red. That was the scene that Yome Yamanaka, mother of Ino, walked in on, her young daughter biting Naruto's arm, as he was trying to shake her off, yelling in pain, "Ino, what are you doing to Naruto-kun?" She said sternly, her tone instantly making Ino let go. As she turned to Naruto and asked gently, "Are you okay, dear? You aren't hurt, are you?" "No, I am fine, Yumi-san. You shouldn't be upset with Ino, it was my fault. I took a slice of her apple." As Naruto said that, trying hard to show some shame and regret, as she looked towards Naruto, who looked like the perfect picture of self-pity right now. As she looked towards her daughter and sent her a small glare. Her message was clear, apologize now. However, Ino was not budging. She sighed, usually Ino would have backed down and do as she was told. But it seems that today she was determined to be angry at the boy. She honestly couldn't say that she didn't understand Ino's anger. Naruto had disappeared for more than a month now, without even telling them anything, and they had been so worried about his safety. She herself had scolded him this morning about his safety and not telling them where he was going, worrying them so much. Ultimately though, seeing him safe and alright, it won out, and she had forgiven him. Ino on the other hand was far more stubborn, and knowing her, Naruto would have to jump through some hoops to get her to forgive him. As she could already see, Ino was getting rather irritated as Naruto tried to make small talk with her. Ino was doing her best, trying not to lash out at the redhead, while in front of her mother. She knew that her mother had a soft spot for Naruto, and she would not take it well if she decided to pick up one of those chairs and whack him with it. How dare the bastard made her, Ino Yamanaka, worried about him. She was too angry to care about breakfast, as she knew that she was going to regret this later though, as she got to her feet and left. As she made sure to take the busy street towards the academy, knowing that Naruto would try to accompany her otherwise. But she was too upset with him to make him escort her. It had taken so much of her patience and charm to teach him how to be a proper gentleman. However, if you ask anyone else, he would simply tell you that Ino had been very bossy, and she just kept on nagging him over and over and over, so he simply gave in. As she made it earlier than she usually did, so she was spoiled on where to sit down. Usually she would sit with her best friend Sakura at the front of the class. However, Aruka-sensei would drone on and on about something, and being that their sensei was a ninja, it made it hard for her to pass secret notes to her best friend under his watch. So today it seems that she would have to choose where she had to sit down. As she glanced around, Shikamaru and Choji already arrived. She guessed that Yoshino kicked Shikamaru out of the house, so he came early to catch some sleep. However, imagine sitting through a boring lecture with someone sleeping right next to you. She was getting drowsy just by thinking of it. There were seats in the middle and she could see two other boys, sitting closer to them, Kiba and Sasuke, as she ignored both of those choices, for the reason that Kiba was too obnoxious, and she wasn't in a good mood to deal with him today, and sitting beside Sasuke would not be a good idea either. Sakura had a huge crush on him, and being the shy girl as she was, she would just spoon over him a lot, but she wouldn't do anything and then she would get crushed. She had put in a lot of effort to make Sakura get out of her shell for the past few years, and she wasn't going to make some boy made her feel insecure ever again. Honestly, she could tell that Sasuke was very cute. However, he was a bit too closed off for her. Maybe if he opened up some more and talked to them, but he didn't seem interested in talking to anyone at all. As she made her way away from that, and Ami as well, as she and the other fangirls would swarm towards Sasuke. However, Aruka gave them a test, something to prepare them for the final test that will be coming very soon. As she realized she had some trouble breaking some basic code taught to them, she would have to revise over that. The day felt like it was getting longer though. After the test, they made their way outside to get some lunch, as Sakura started to yammer about the test a lot. She was mostly tuning her out. It wasn't that she was not interested in hearing about it, as she and Sakura were the ones competing for the title of Kunoichi of the Year. It was just that she was extremely hungry. Her dinner had been light last night, and this morning she did not get any breakfast because of him, as she thought about going out to the stores to buy some breakfast. However, she was on a tight budget. She went on a shopping spree this month, and that wasn't really a good idea, now that she thought about it. Another reason she wanted to graduate early so that she can earn lots of money by going on missions. As she was still walking until someone flickered right in front of her. As Sakura stopped talking and she looked up towards the boy, however, Ino simply walked right past him. Naruto could feel the anger rolling off Ino and the confusion coming from Sakura as he tilted his head towards the girl. She had an awesome shade of pink hair, a lighter shade of red. "Hey Ino, I brought you lunch," he said. Well, more like he has asked Yumi-san to pack some lunch, and after he took care of some business he came to make amends. It had been his fault for disappearing, but he had made a breakthrough in the seals, and the application of it took some time to prepare. Then his approval for a commercial permit had come through, and he had to secure some channels to get these supplies, and that took a long time and a lot of effort from him. Ino only stopped for a second. "You don't want it," he said. "Alright, I guess I'll go then. I have some pretty big news though, 2 of them in fact, and you were the first one I was gonna tell about it." He sighed in a dramatic way as he turned to walk away. That was all he heard before Ino held Sakura by her wrist as she made her way. She then snatched the lunchbox away from him as she stood in front of him. As Naruto just stood there, he placed a hand on both of their shoulders before he flickered the both of them away. As they arrived to one of the training grounds, Ino made her way towards a large tree as she found a soft spot underneath to sit down. As Sakura trailed behind her hesitantly and opened her own lunchbox, as he could feel that she was worried of him, he had to suppress the anger that he felt bubbling up inside of him, something that he spent lots of training over the past few years to control. However, as he opened his senses and he looked at her, he could see that the girl was just shy of strangers. She was not particularly uneasy because of him. As he smiled at thought as he made his way over. "Hello," he said. "I'm Naruto Uzumaki, Ino's friend." Sakura Haruna," she said, as she shook his hand. "Ino told me about you." "Really now? Good things I hope," he said in a teasing tone. "She told me you graduated 2 years ago, and that you're a Chunin," Sakura said hastily, as she could tell that Ino was getting angry, and she wasn't going to tell him all that Ino told her. It was between them, not him. "Yep, I joined the academy a year early. And as for being a Chunin, if all go well, I won't be one for too long," he said cryptically, and knowing Ino he had dangled the perfect bait. "What does that mean?" she said. "I put in a request for a promotion to special Chunin. It was approved, and if all go well, I will be promoted." "What do you have to do to get promoted?" As she knew some of the details that went to getting a promotion, but nothing too major. As Naruto had told her there was 2 ways to get promoted to Chunin when not in a time of war. First, through some kind of exam. A few years back she had attended one with her father as a spectator. for the finals of that exam. The second was to get approved by the council. Naruto did not tell her how he got approved by the council, telling her that she did not have the clearance for it. You don't have the clearance. She hated those words, because he always acts so smug about it. As for being a special Jonin, she didn't really know much about that. Whatever special Jonin has to do, show Jonin specified skills in certain areas, and show a high proficiency than other Chonins. The information could easily be found in the library, and it was not restricted to civilians. Sakura bit down as she swallowed the food in her mouth. How is that different from a Jonin, she asks. A Jonin position require a lot more field experience because they have the choice to take a Genin team. And I don't show Jonin level skills in all the basic ninja fields. Only some I specialize in to be considered for the promotion. Being a Jonin does give a bit more authority in certain situations though. But I'm not ready for the responsibility and time required for the position. There were exceptions to these of course, but they did not know about that yet. Is that why you disappeared? Ino asks. She was hurt with him just disappearing like that without telling her anything beforehand. And she had hated it. It's one of the reasons I had to up my training and do a lot of preparation for a technique I've been preparing for a while. I barely slept for weeks. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you I'd be gone for a while. And he was genuinely so. The Ichirakus and the Yamanakas were close to him as family, as any could be. But he did not grow up in the same environment that she did. While it was true that the Ichirakus were a civilian family, they knew of his burdens, so they would understand his absence. The Yamanakas were a ninja family, however Ino had a very sheltered upbringing for Eris, as she did not know the cruelty and hardship of the lifestyle that she had chosen. His motivation was a lot different from hers, but he knew with time she would grow up into someone very strong. He could already see her potential to do something rather great. Ino didn't answer him, however she didn't try to block him out like she did this morning either. So how about this, he said. I'll tell you the other news. I can guarantee you'll be excited about it, but you have to promise me you won't be mad at me anymore. Ino was already finished with her lunch as she got to her feet. The news, and you will treat me for a lunch for a month after I become a genin, for a week. And when I'm not busy, he said. Fine, but you will help me with my training after you become a genin. Yes, she said. Alright, deal, he said, as he extended his hand and sticked out his pinky to make a promise. That's so childish, she said, however she still extended her pinky. I don't want to hear that coming from you. You're still a brat until you meet genin, don't you know that? That's not true, you just like saying that. I'm more mature than you. You're not. I am. Or not. I'm too. Or not, you're just a brat. You're the brat, I'm a woman. Why can't I see it, said Naruto as he slowly looked up and down her frame. She took a breath. She knew how to counter him on this, as she made her way closer and placed her arms around his neck. You want me to show you, Naruto-kun, she whispered. As Naruto had to calm himself down, remind himself that he was a shinobi and had seen many beautiful, exotic kunoichis. As his mind immediately conjured Kurenai senpai, and compared to them, Ino, while she was very pretty, she was lacking in certainly womanly charms. As he calmly stepped out of her grasp. Would have loved to see you try, however. We don't have the time for it, sadly, he said. He need to find someone to teach him how to counter these kunoichi charms, or Ino will continue to get on their skin. As they stood there trying to break each other with their glares. As Sakura cleared her throat, flustering a bit, over to the side as Ino finally spoke. So, what's the other news? Our break is gonna be ended soon. I found a property on lease, said Naruto. It's a great place not too far away from the market, but not too close so the others would complain about the noise. I have already hired some workers to make the necessary adjustments. Within a month I'll probably be open for business. When are you gonna take me to see the place, Ino said, as she was quite happy. He had been talking about opening his shop now for months. Whenever you're free. This was one of his dreams coming true, and it made him happy to see how giddy she was about hearing that. You're opening up your own business, Sakura said in wonder, as Naruto was young, maybe only a year older than them, and he was already opening his own shop. That was really incredible. Yep, I'm a weaponsmith, he said. But won't you be too busy with your ninja career, Sakura asked. Not too much. I'll be only providing high-end weapons and custom jobs. The demand is low for them, but they're quite pricey, so they make rather decent profits. and I'll still take on missions to make money. My clan, the Uzumakis, were famous for their swords, and know I can open my own shop to honor them. Sakura could hear the pride in his voice. She hadn't heard about the Uzumaki clan. They were not taught about them in the class. She would have to go to the library to gather more information on that. You could come to visit my shop too. Just ask Ino whenever you want to, he said. I would like that, she said, as she really wanted to look at what kind of weapons Naruto could make. He seemed like an earnest guy, and apparently he's quite strong. He was already being considered for a promotion after all. She always thought that Sasuke-kun was the strongest in their age group, but now she wasn't quite sure. Because he was from the Uchiha clan, one of the strongest clans within Konoha, she thought that no one would be able to compete with Sasuke. It certainly seemed so. No one in their class was close to him, in skill level. Even without his Sharingan, she had researched about it in her spare time. He was always able to win every fight. Ino glanced up towards the sky, as she told the time from it, as they had been taught that in the academy. As their lunch break was coming to an end. Are you coming for dinner today, she asked. Probably not. I'll have to go to Ichiraku to tell him I'm back. He would have to apologize to them as well for disappearing still. I'll be by tomorrow, he said though. Alright, I'll tell you tomorrow then, when we can visit your shop. Let's go, Sakura, she said. You want me to take you back, said Naruto, as he didn't want them to be late because of him. No need, you can go now, she said, shushing him away, as he stuck his tongue out at her and vanished. She wanted to do the same gesture, however he was already gone. Ino pig. It was something that only Sakura was allowed to call her. They had started to do this routine when Ami and her gang tried to make fun of them by calling her Ino pig and forehead girl to Sakura. So they started to do this so whenever someone tried to bully them, it wouldn't really bother them at all. However, it just stuck, but there was no malice in it. It was just nicknames, despite sounding rather rude. You and Naruto are just friends, Sakura said, as she always wondered why didn't Ino try to go after Sasuke like almost every girl in the class. Maybe Naruto was the reason. What else would he be, Ino said, as she looked rather confused. However, she got it in a second. I know what you're thinking, she said. Why would someone like me be friends with someone who was so childish and immature? But I've known him for a long time, and he isn't a bad person. Yeah, that wasn't what Sakura was thinking at all. Naruto didn't seem that insufferable. On the contrary, he was easy to talk to, and nice as well. As for being childish, Ino was in no position to call him that. Maybe she was just looking into it too much, and they were just friends. As they made their way back, as Ino couldn't wait for the end of the week to come. Back with Naruto, as he was making his way. Other than going to Ichiraku's, he had about 6 hours to kill. His options were restricted. While he couldn't feel them strongly, he knew that he was under surveillance. By who, he was not sure, but their presence seemed rather similar to his old teammate, Yoji Aburame. Yoji wasn't that strong or skilled apart from his clan abilities. Unremarkable in many ways, but Naruto could feel that something was wrong with him. Even for Aburame, his emotions were far too subdued. If he hadn't felt it in the village from other people, it would have been dismissive. However, sadly, Naruto didn't have the skills in the infiltration art to try and get his files. Those files were off limit to the people below Jonin. But it wasn't going to be a problem for too long. After his promotion, he was going to look into it. Until then, he had to make it seem like he was unaware that he was being watched. Still, it was starting to annoy him greatly, because he could not do a lot of stuff that were supposed to be secret, and until he was sure that the Hokage was not the one that gave the orders to watch him, he couldn't do anything to them. All he could do right now was hold out on showing much as possible, as he decided to go to a bar where most high-level shinobis made their way to, as it would be rather hard to spy on him there. Envoys were there to make sure that no sensitive information was leaked because some ninja got too drunk and spilled their guts, as he arrived to see if the people were there that he was looking for. However, as he spread his senses, he could not feel Izumo or Kotetsu. Fun people, both of them he spent time with while he was on gate guard duty. However, he did feel some others that he knew who would appreciate his company. It was unusual for all of them to be here at once, and not on a mission. He was going to make his way inside until he felt a self of suffocating guilt overwhelm him. as he was trying to overlook the possibility that Kakashi was not there as well. Now he had to think whether to go in or not. Being close to Kakashi was an ordeal. Whenever Kakashi saw him, his feelings grew more intense, and Naruto was tired of it. Why couldn't Kakashi just forget he existed? Kakashi felt rather remorseful and guilt towards him, and Naruto didn't need that. This was one of the reasons why he had yet to visit his mother's grave. His father's as well, he supposed. Kakashi was always there, and whenever Kakashi saw him, there was just so much guilt reeking from the man whenever he looked at him. Well, there was another reason as well. He didn't want anyone to know that he was aware of his lineage. But Kakashi's presence always deterred him no matter what. Should he be grateful to Kakashi or what? He couldn't make his mind up on that. He supposed that was just how complicated his life was, as he decided to go in anyway. After all, with his upcoming promotion, he didn't know how long he could avoid the man for. He sighed as he made his way inside, as he was able to sense negative emotions, as he could sense the undertone of some of the drunken people inside. As he made his way towards a table that had 6 people occupying it: Guy, Asuma, Kurenai, Genma, Rido, and lastly Kakashi. As he pulled a chair from a nearby table and greeted them. "So, how's everyone doing?" he said. "I'm doing absolutely fine this youthful morning," Naruto-kan said Guy, as boisterous as ever. As Naruto liked Guy a lot, there wasn't an ounce of deceit inside the man, as Naruto could sense people's negative emotions when they tried to hide it behind happy facade. However, Guy did not have any of that towards him. The man had a right to be eccentric, after all, given how powerful he was, and not to mention it suited him quite well. "I'm doing fine as well," Kurenai said, as she smiled gently towards Naruto. As Naruto blushed slightly, he still sometimes got caught off guard by Kurenai-senpai. Most time it seems that she was uncaring towards other people because of her demeanor. However, that was far from the truth, as he had spent time on missions with her, and he realized that he was wrong. As Asuma saw Naruto's reaction, as he chuckled at that, Naruto used chakra to make his voice extremely low so the others would not hear. "If only I was just a bit older, Asuma. You wouldn't stand a chance. Count yourself lucky." Asuma, being the cool bastard he was, as Naruto think of him as cool, he simply chuckled louder, as the man liked his smoke. As Naruto once entertained the idea, however, his Bachan did not like smokers, and not to mention, after reading his mother's diary, he knew that she didn't want him to do that either. As the others gave similar responses, as Naruto ordered a drink. As he turned towards them, "How come all of you are here?" he said. "Is there a shortage of missions or something?" As he was genuinely curious, clients, they always ask for these members of Konoha because of their talents on missions. "We are on reserve for the moment unless an emergency come by. The academy graduate are gonna start at the end of the week, and we're all gonna take on a genuine team." Kurenai said she was quite happy to teach once again. With her last student, Yakumo, that had been one of her greater failures, but this time around she was gonna do a better job. "And my team just completed the mission as C rank prediction detail yesterday, so I've given them some time off," said Guy. "You're taking a team too, Kurenai-senpai," said Naruto as she nodded. "Oh man, why would you do that? We won't be able to go on missions anymore. We could have been the best team in Konoha, you know." Kurenai chuckled seeing Naruto sulk. They had gone on several missions when Naruto was just promoted and she was a special jonin, as she was in charge of throwing in the ropes, and the both of their abilities matched well together, as Naruto was an offensive frontal fighter who did quick takedowns, and she could deliver rear end backup with her genjutsu and support. "I wanted to teach Naruto," she said, as she saw that he was still sulking, "and we wouldn't be able to go on missions anyway. I heard that you put forward the application for promotion." Kurenai kept tabs on him because she was in charge of him for a while, and every now and then she'd check up on him. "They are already considered promoting you," said Genma in amazement. It had only been a year since Naruto's promotion. He felt some pride in the fact that Naruto was growing stronger. He was one of the members of the Hokage guard platoon, as Genma had served on the fort, and he was personally trained by him to use a variant of the Harishin. "Yep, special jonin. I don't know the specific date, but I'm up for evaluation." Kakashi, who was pretending to read his precious book, was also intrigued by that. He was somewhat sad that he had no part in Naruto's growth. He didn't know why, but Naruto always seemed uncomfortable in his presence. Though it was for the better, he thought. Consider, everything he held dear would sooner or later vanish. As Naruto could feel the rising distress that Kakashi was feeling, as Guy spoke up though. Naruto, my youthful friend, your flames of youth are burning bright. To match them I will run 1,000 laps around Konoha, only use my hands. And if I can't do that, I will do 1,000 push-ups only using a single finger. And if, as Guy went on and on and on, as he yelled and placed down his money and ran out of the shop to fulfill what he just said. As Kakashi also gave them a seer, as he made his way off. So what's about you guys, said Naruto as he turned towards Radio and Genma. Are you guys gonna go after teams as well? Nah, I like my job, said Radio, as he did enjoy working as an elite bodyguard along with Genma. Yep, and before we can even think of leaving that job, we'll have to train a replacement, and who knows how long that will take. Genma commented. However, it was a secret that they were taught the Flying Thunder God, along with Awashi, to get the third out of any situation if it was too thick. Yeah, I completely understand. I don't know why you want to take Genin's student, said Naruto, as he turned his gaze towards Kunai. Maybe when you're older you will enjoy the joy of teaching, Naruto, she said. As Asuma chuckled, why wouldn't you want to teach children, Naruto? Imagine messing with starry-eyed children. As Kunai glared at him. Don't fill his head with that nonsense, Asuma. As she saw that Naruto looked like he was thinking about the idea. So, do you know who you want to be placed on your team? Well, this year crop seemed to be good. As a member of the Sarutobi clan, I want to recreate the success of the Inishikacho team, so I guess I'm partial towards them. You seem certain that all of them would pass, Kunai said. She had looked into all of their reports, and some of them didn't have a chance of passing. The 3 of them are next in line to lead their clans, and I would be seriously surprised if their parents did not teach them how to correctly pass the academy test. What about you? Have anyone in mind? I haven't given it much thought. I would teach whoever I'm assigned to. But there's this one girl that has a high aptitude for genjutsu. The Yamanaka and Nara. Kids would also have a high aptitude for genjutsu as well. Well, I guess so, seeing that both of the clans perform their techniques using yin manipulation. Ino have already learned her clan techniques, so she must have some grasp on it already, I guess. As Naruto remembered Ino telling him about getting that mind technique down. Ino? You mean the Yamanaka ear, Asuma said, as he knew of the girl because he saw her file. What he didn't expect was that Naruto knew her, and judging from her expression, so did Kunai. They weren't blind, they knew of Naruto's small circle of acquaintances. So that is why I was surprised to hear that he knew someone his own age. Yep, she was quite excited about it, and knowing her, she didn't just bulldoze through the exercise. She might have looked into the basics of the technique, said Naruto. Oh, so what can you tell me about her, So if she's in my team, I can work with her more easily. Well, she's kind of bossy, and she tends to nag you a lot. But she's smart, and if anything catch her interest, she will go to more length to know about it. After my first mission as a Genin at D rank 1, I refused to tell her about it, so she tried tailing me for a week, even skipping class once or twice until Inoichi put an end to it. I think that she's still mad about that. Good to know, Asuma said, as he seemed to think about something, as Naruto sat with them for a bit more, until he decided to finish his drink and say goodbye. As Naruto could feel one of his watchers, as they were in another bar over to the side. He wasn't sure if they were watching him, or was just relaxing. However, he could feel how muted they were. He had thought about asking Asuma for help. He had great connections, not to mention him being a former member of the Royal 12 from the Daimyo. And he was the son of the Hokage even though him and his father was not close. However, he decided not to because Naruto did not trust anyone to choose him above the village. And if he had asked for help, some information would have got out that he didn't want to. The ability to sense negative emotion was something that any ruler or any leader would kill to have in a Jinchuriki. It unravels so much secrets, all the while the user can never be deceived by anyone. As Naruto made his way towards the apartment he killed some time before, he made his way to get some ramen. That was all he had planned today, after working like hell for the past month. A day or two of relax before going back to missions. However, he felt someone approaching him at high speeds as an envoy flickered in front of him. Uzumaki-san, the Hokage, has requested your presence urgently. the masked Anbu said, as Naruto felt caution, not towards him though, but to everything around the Anbu. Understood, he said. I'll be on my way. The Anbu nodded before he vanished away, as Naruto disappeared as well and appeared close to Hokage's tower with a small poof to make his presence known to the guards. He didn't have the privilege to completely just appear in the building while masking his presence. Making his way up, the secretary saw him as he asked, yes, the Hokage is expecting you, Uzumaki-san. As he entered said office, it was already occupied, as Izumo and Katetsu was there, his gate guard buddies. As he could feel Izumo was excited, Katetsu was annoyed. Ah, all of you are present here, and said. Dove, he called out. As the same Anbu arrived, holding a file. As Naruto didn't understand why someone wanted to join the Anbu, the pay was not that great, and you had to be constantly paranoid. As Izumo took the file and read out aloud. Aoi Rokusho, male, 25. Physical description. Here we go. Former instructor of Konoha, tricked the genin into abandoning the village and joined the Hidden Rain. Helped kill 2 of Konoha Anbu and torture a Konoha ninja. Current status, Jonin of the Hidden Rain. B rank 11 ninja. Bounty, 15 million Ryu. Captured dead or alive. As Naruto was confused, Aoi, crimes did not seem to match such a high bounty. 15 million? Perhaps sensing his confusion, Hokage gesture for Izumo to continue reading another file. Aoi Rokusho trick, Genin. ID Marino, the Steel, the Secret Scroll, along with the Senju clan artifact, created by Tobirama Senju, the legendary Sword of the Thunder God, which still seemed to be in his presence. The rest of it was the same. He had tortured the Anbus as he tried to decode the scroll. As Naruto was now interested in hunting this Aoi down. While distant, he still had a relationship with the Senjus. They had promised to provide a home to all Uzumakis, so it was his duty to help the clan when he can. Even though there was no one living in the Senju compound right now or no Senju in the village, they had not really failed fulfilling their promise to him. We have reports of seeing Aoi, along with 2 others, crossing into the Fire Country from the grass, making their way either towards the Sound or the Iron. You 3 are to go to the border outpost of Konoha and meet the team tracking him in progress. Engage him and bring back the sword and scroll, if he has them. Naruto, you will be the leader of this mission, Hiruzen said. The other 2 nodded as Naruto nodded back. Yes sir, he said. As they stepped out of the office, Izumo, gather as much information on Aoi and the landscape as you can. Katetsu, gather the team supplies, both of you. Be ready to leave in the next 3 hours. As the 2 of them were excited, it was rare for the Hokage to call on people and give them special assignments. As Naruto wondered if this was done for his case. After all, he said he would like to join a capture squad, so was this some kind of test for him, as he was a team leader after all? He put that thought aside though as he made his way towards Ichiraku's. He had to take care of several things as well. There was only a single customer in there. It seemed like Ayam and Tuki was making preparation for the dinner rush that would come soon. Hey, how are you doing, Ayam? Pops, said Naruto. Both of them looked up towards a familiar sounding voice. Naruto, my boy, it's good to see you. Where have you been? You know, since you stopped coming around, business has been struggling, he said, in a rather jovial voice. As Naruto knew that Tuki was joking after all, with Naruto not being here maybe, business was booming, because of him not sitting there around certain people. Where have you been, Naruto? Dad might be joking, but we were really worried, you know. Ayam said to him. Me? It was you. He's a grown-up now, he can take care of himself. You should stop hounding him, Tuki said, as he knew that Naruto was a very capable young man. As Ayam did not like that at all. Naruto might be a shinobi, but he wasn't above doing something stupid and reckless. It's fine. I had to take some time off to complete my training and some restart, said Naruto. You should have still informed us before you disappeared, she said, as she placed a bowl of ramen in front of him, as he already knew what he wanted. I know, and I'm sorry. I won't go on long absence without telling you, okay? As he broke apart the chopsticks. I got the place that you showed me the last time, he said. Ayam and Tuki had helped him find a place for their shop. They had good connection in the commercial market. You did? Ayam said happily. Congratulations, Naruto. The first bowls on the house took his head from the back. Thanks, old man, said Naruto, as he had come to accept these gestures from the Ichirakus. However, he did repay them in another way, by sharpening their knives, and fixing some of their other equipments. He had been working on a set of kitchen knives though, for the old man for some time now. They were going to be really special, but he was not finished yet. Could you do me a favor, Ayam? Sure, what's up, she said. I have to go on an urgent mission tonight, and it might take me some time to complete it. Not more than a week though. The construction crew I hired will be coming in tomorrow to fix up the place. Can you go there and make sure everything is fine, and that they're working properly? I have already given them the specification on what to do, so you don't have to worry about anything. Here are the plans for it, as he passed her keys and a notebook that the plans were inside of. As Ayam looked through it, details about where the machinery should be placed. When are they coming in for the job, she asked. About 11 in the morning, said Naruto as they finished, and ordered another bowl of miso ramen. Don't worry, I'll take care of it, she said. After that, Naruto made his way to Yamanaka Flowers, as he expected to see Ino there, but her mother was there instead. As she looked up when she heard the chime of the bell. Hello, Naruto-kun. I thought you'd be coming tomorrow for dinner. Don't tell me Ino got the date wrong. No, Ino didn't get the date wrong. I was gonna come tomorrow, but Hokage assigned me a special mission, and I don't know when I'll be coming back. That's why I came to inform you and Ino, said Naruto. Oh well, that's a shame. I was looking forward to tomorrow's dinner, she said, as Naruto felt guilty even though he hadn't done anything wrong. I promise, I'll come by as soon as I can, he said. I'll hold you to it then, but you should still visit more than often, and not just for planned dinners. I will, said Naruto as he started to look around the shop. He wasn't as discreet as he thought. Ino is in her room. She's studying for the graduation exam. I'll call her, she said. She made her way upstairs to get Ino. As Ino came down and she sat behind the counter, she seemed rather frustrated. Studying for an exam never really make anyone happy. What do you want, she said. He wouldn't make a rude remark, however, he didn't want to leave on an angry note. I have an urgent mission too. I can't come by tomorrow for dinner, he said. But then we can't go to your shop, she said. Don't be angry at me, Ino. The Hokage person asked me to go on this mission. I had to give Ayam the instructions on the construction work. Because I won't be here tomorrow, he said. Your construction crew's arriving tomorrow, said Ino. Yeah, I left Ayam with the plans. For some reason she was smirking. Okay, I get it, she said. Don't worry about showing me the shop. We can go there whenever you come back. How long will you be gone for anyway? No more than a week, he said. Well, you better come meet me when you return. You were gone for months. I know you're going once again when I'm becoming a genin. I will. Jeez, you said you wouldn't be angry about that anymore. I am not angry, she said in an angry tone. He knew that he just had to give up after all. She would just continue to nag him and tell him that she wasn't angry. Fine, if you say so, well, I'll see you when I get back then, he said. As she waved him off as Naruto made his way. Arriving to his apartment, Naruto went through hand sign. As the phone just markings on the door came up. There was many things on his apartment wards, from elemental attacks, alarm seal and many others. As he made his way inside and locked the door behind him, as he went to his closet and started to pack. With a quick nick of his finger, he brought his sword out from the summoning realm. It was a katana sheath in a black scabbard, with a red spiral right on the handle. It wasn't straight as a normal katana, it had a slight curve to it, and it was also slightly longer than those used traditionally. But still it was nothing compared to the blade that his mother used to use. Imagine a woman like her swinging a blade as tall as her. She would be quite scary in the battlefield, she would. As he placed it on his waist, as he had to put on a new sash. He used to use his forehead protector to hold up his blade, however. He had applied a new seal to his forehead, and he was using the forehead protector to hide it. So he couldn't really remove it and pull it back down. Time skip, Naruto was the second one to arrive. As Katetsu was near the gate, seemingly taking a nap. As Naruto hopped up in a tree and decided to just lean back. Hey, I'm not late, am I? Aizumo said as he arrived on the field. No, you're right on time. Are we ready to move out, said Naruto. I did some digging, and I did find some useful stuff, Aizumo said. I collected everything required for the mission, and got the money allocated for a A rank, said Katetsu. It was a perk of working for Hidden Village, as they provide the money for lodging and such. Good, then let's be on our way. We will be running at a comfortable pace, so don't push yourself, we have time. As they start to make their way towards their destination, Izumo guiding them because he was the one charting their course. As they made their way, but guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see next parts and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also stick around for the rest of what is coming your way. And comment down below and tell me when part 3, guys, and I'll be posting it as soon as possible for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, place your foot up and keep back and relax, and don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels. Link will be down in the description for Anime King and Anime King 3. And also guys, don't forget to turn on that bell notification, stay posted. So yeah, without further ado, what is so we leap on into this new episode. Begin the intro